1, 2. Back the truck up. We live. It's your boy Brando knows. We in the building. QVD doing a lot of talking, y'all. He said Diddy got a lot to do with what happened to Tupac. And that's deeper than that. Even deeper than that, even. All right, that might be good. Let's go.
On all four of those occasions, there's San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one of them.
Every one of them. Which of those four is it when you talk to him without murdering Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Anaheim.
After a concert in Anaheim, Keefe D claims that he attended a party with Puffy in a hotel suite. So it's Pharrell, you, Puffy, Zip, and a bunch of Southsiders. And what Puffy makes kind of an announcement?
Yeah, that was stupid as hell too, you know.
What did you actually hear? What was the words? Is the best you can remember what he says?
That was stupid as hell too, you know.
What did you actually hear?
You know?
Did it give you anything for these guys' head?
Yeah, he said it in front of all the people. I couldn't believe it. You know what I'm saying?
In Anaheim?
Yeah.
So you heard him say, Diddy told us, a bunch of street dudes, that he'll give us anything for them dudes' heads. Now, when you say that in front of a bunch of gangsters, bro, initially when I first heard this, I was like, well, maybe Diddy was just mad and he was emotional and he was just talking. But if you from the street or if you've been around anybody from the street, you know you can't just talk like that in front of street dudes. They're going to take it very seriously what you're saying. So that was my initial thought. But listen to what Keefe D had to say. And it seems like, according to Keefe D, Diddy was dead serious. And he confirmed that. Check it out.
Whole hundred trips. We were on the million.
He's given locations. He's given a name. The police is like, look, we need specific details. You can't just tell us this happened. We need specific details. He said we wanted $1 million. We was at Greenblatt's. He said Diddy offered or asked them to kill Tupac and Suge multiple times at multiple locations on multiple dates.
You tell him we'll do it for $1 million, and he's like, okay, I'll do it for $1 million. He agrees. You shake hands or something like that.
Wow.
What happened?
He like, man, we'll wipe their ass out quick. You know, it's nothing.
Who brought up the amount of $1 million?
Shit, he did.
Wow.
Puffy did it? Okay. Wasn't you?
No, it wasn't me. I They put 50. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
He said I'd have did it for 50,000. He'd have killed Tupac and Suge, he said. He said Diddy offered the $1 million. I didn't bring no numbers up. $1 million, I'll take it. What street dude is going to say no to that at that time? You know, I just think just all this information coming out with Tupac's murder trial going on, it's amazing to me that Diddy's not charged with this guy just based on what the information he's willing to give up. Because normally they want the biggest fish. But, you know, I guess you can't just go on here saying there was no transaction official. He said it right here in this clip from the interrogation. He said it was a gentleman's thing. Like, you know, like we ain't putting no paperwork out. There's not going to be a paperwork trail for hits. You know what I mean? So, but it is amazing that Diddy is not implicated more in this other than just he might have to come and testify as a witness.
And 50. You know what I'm saying? Shit.
So he brought up the $1 million.
Yeah. The project dude would kill your ass for 1,500. Shit, one of the fights was that day, you know, the 80s.
So y'all geared up to go to Vegas. Y'all was going anyway. Not even knowing who else was going to be down there. Not knowing if Pac and shit was going to be
We ain't got no pistol. We ain't got no pistol down there. And shit, it was right there. It's a perfect opportunity, baby.
That was it, Carl?
Yeah.
Because of what happened with
Yeah. He told me in the lobby that he had some Jimmys.
Some what?
Had a Jimmy. That Benz, he had a little secret compartment. Thing popped out. Popped up, yeah.
In the armrest?
Yeah.
So you hear him just giving the whole play-by-play on what happened before they got to Vegas. And he said that they told him it was the perfect opportunity to kill Tupac because now you had even more motivation and incentive than $1 million, which is Tupac just and Suge and them just jumped your homeboy. You know what I mean? So all those things put together, if you Diddy, you got to be kind of worried. You got to be. This is like, bro, now I'm getting called into this trial. Now, Keefy D must have realized that he wasn't going to get off that easy. And I think he thought that he was just going to be able to tell on Diddy real quick. And if I give up Diddy, then maybe I could get some time knocked off, or maybe I won't get as much time or whatever, because I can guarantee Keefy D ain't worried about Diddy doing nothing to him in jail. You know what I'm saying? Or nothing like that. He's not worried about getting knocked off by Diddy. Otherwise, he'd already been knocked off. You know what I'm saying? So
sometimes you gotta put time between.
I think he thought he was gonna be able to just tell on Diddy, and when he realized that that wasn't gonna work, now he's changing his tune, saying like, nah, like it wasn't nothing like that. Like Diddy will tell you I was lying. You know what I'm saying? But those details are too precise for us to believe that it's a lie. So now,
today your agency depends on a single platform, and that's a risk you don't control. If the algorithm changes, you're...
Have you ever seen people flipping houses and say, man, I wish I could make money like them? They've got dumpsters there. They've got contractors going in and out.
it's being reported that Keefy D is saying this right here. Pretty much that, you know, Diddy would agree that he was just lying, trying to make money and sell a book. According to a source close to Davis, his attorney is confident that Sean Diddy Combs will back the argument that Keefy D. Davis's past claims about orchestrating Tupac's murder were fabricated in his pursuit of fortune and...
I hear that shit. Keefy D said, yo, man, listen, man, I was just lying, man. I just did all this shit to sell books and shit, you know what I mean? Ask Puff, he'll tell you, man, it's all a lie. Y'all think that's gonna work? Huh? All right, let's see.
Fame. Said Dwayne has made his feelings clear. If Diddy is a witness or makes a statement denying what he told cops, then that helps him hugely. So now they're trying to get Diddy on their side. After Keefy D tried to snitch on Diddy, now he wants Diddy on his side. How funny is that? He's like, yo, I want Diddy to come forward, to come to court and say I lied about this murder altogether. But the details are already out there, bro. Your confession is already out there.
And if they let that rock, that goes to show you that the justice system really sucks, right? Like what's going on down in Mississippi with the Nolan Wells case, right? How long before somebody get locked up? If the shoe was on the other foot, everybody be locked up already. Every kid that was on those boats, man, be in jail. Oh, y'all don't want to stay who did it? Y'all gonna stay. You're all accessories to the fact. Huh? When they gonna do that? When they gonna grab all them little dudes up, put them in handcuffs, perk walk them, take them to the booking station, book them, Daniel, let them see a judge, get out on bail if they can, and let's take it from there. What are we waiting for? They wilding right now. You know what I'm saying? Clearly everybody done heard the Cito tape by now. And if you still could say you ain't heard nothing, my man, you hoodwink. These are facts. Don't be a hoodwinker. Be the hoodwinky. Okay? Okay, Pumpkin? Let's get back to this P. Diddy and Keefy D snitching allegations. We all know he's snitching.
The statement goes from the lawyer, I believe, is another factor is that this case will be a jury trial. if there is a suspicion that celebrities are often seen preferentially, so if Diddy backed up Keefe D's story, it would help him immensely. The problem with that is everybody will be sitting there thinking, well, of course Diddy is going to back this up because he has incentive to back this up. Because of the interviews and everything that Keefe D has done, everybody going to be sitting there like, well, yeah, Diddy going to say you lying because Diddy is involved. So it's kind of a tainted witness. I don't know that that's a good defense for Keefe D because nobody's going to believe Diddy. Diddy's not a credible witness at this point because he has something to gain by saying that Keefe D is lying. So that's his story now. He's trying to backtrack and say, you know, nah, man. And they're trying to pull Diddy in as a witness. Obviously, the prosecutor is going to pull Diddy in as a witness because of other reasons. He wants to put Keefe D away and possibly, you know, maybe bring some heat to Diddy. But Keefe D wants to bring in Diddy as a witness in order to say, hey, tell these people I was lying so I could go home. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't think that Diddy is a credible witness. But Keefe D did sit down and do an interview talking about this. And, you know, he continues to do interviews even now going through this situation to me, which is crazy. But this is what he had to say.
Did you have anything to do with the murder of Tupac Shakur?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I wasn't even in the matter. I wasn't in the matter, period.
He said I wasn't in the
Do you
matter.
regret the book?
After all those details we just heard you say about being in Vegas and how you went to Vegas and where you put the gun and the stash box in the car and who you saw and all the names that were there, you wasn't even in Vegas. That's hilarious.
In the interview.
Yeah, I was just after the money, and they said I was covered. I did it for the money. You know what I'm saying? And,
But did anyone tell you maybe it's not?
Yeah, listen, when you say you did it for the money, man, they sort of look at you differently, like, all right, yeah, maybe he did it for the money. All right, cool. All right. Yeah. I caught my fair charge. I told him I did it for the money, man. You know what I'm saying? I did it for the money, man. He's like, yo, man, get your ass in there, motherfucker. You did it for the money, nigga? All right, we got you. And we gonna do this for the time, motherfucker. Get your ass on in there. See how they play games with the judicial system? Huh? Nolan Wells ain't getting no motherfucking justice. Nolan Wells gonna get some justice, y'all. Trust me. We on those white kids' tails. But Keefe D over here trying to backtrack. Who believe this dude? Hands up.
A good idea to do that because they might arrest you after they hear you say that or read it in your book. Like, did anyone close to you say, not a good idea?
that was the both words. I didn't write that book. I can't, you know, they don't know about no Winston Churchill, Frank Sinatra. You just read the book, you know I didn't write that book. You know what I'm saying? And the black thing, the lady, she gave me $150,000.
But then when I was watching the interview this week, and the way you sort of go through it by play, like, then this happened, it's very believable.
Yep.
They wrote me a script to follow. My lawyer came.
He think it's funny. You see, he low-key laughing. Like, they wrote me a script, bro. I ain't write it. You know? Do I think Keefe D can get out? No. Do I think he trying everything he can think of? Sure, who wouldn't? You facing life in prison, dog. At 60-something years old. I think how old is Keefe D? 60, I believe. It's like, dog, you facing that much time, you just want to say anything to just go home. Like, it don't even matter. What I gotta say? I gotta say he's 63 years old, by the way. I just looked it up. He's saying whatever he can think of. But nobody buying it, not even if you're selling it cheap, Keefe D. You went too much in depth with details and you did too many interviews and wrote a book, allegedly. He's saying he didn't write it, he said the ghostwriters wrote it. But come on, dog. If ghostwriters wrote that.
Seemed like he did everything the whole time.
When you were talking in this interview about Tupac's murder and when you were doing this book, were you considering maybe his family?
course not.
at all?
No, I just did it for the money, you know what I'm saying? Trying to be on that, you know what I'm saying? And it's wrong. It's just wrong. I'm an innocent man. And
You definitely ain't no
they
innocent.
said, yeah, Chris, I haven't been around that stuff since like 89. I stopped that stuff, pulled up my pants. I'm not no leader or Chris for none of that stuff. That's wrong. They just try to make their case look good or something. He's a leader at Chris. He's way up there in the Chris. No, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? There's no color on it. I'm messing with Bloods, Crips, everybody. You know what I'm saying? I just want to know the leader of the Crips. I helped somebody get that record company together. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's partially true.
Yeah. And why would I kill the guy that's making us the most money? You know what I'm saying? That rapper back then, why would I kill our money like that? It don't make sense.
He wasn't getting no money off of Tupac and them, I don't believe. But I do believe him, if I'm not mistaken, Keefy D and Suge went to school together and they knew each other from young, from the youth, childhood. Which is how, I mean, that's a very common thing in California. If you're from California, we all know. Like, we grew up together, but we not homies. Like, you over there. You moved around the corner in the 5th grade. You moved down the street, down the neighborhood to another neighborhood, and we ain't cool. Like, you are up. And that's how it happens sometimes when you grow up in California, Southern California especially. So they knew each other, but, you know, I think Keefy D, I can't remember if he had involvement in early death row or whatever, but I know he wasn't. I don't believe he was involved later on when Tupac and them got there.
So I'm not going to tell you what I do. So,
Has the DA's office offered you any plea deals, and would you consider a plea deal?
I'm not going to take no big deal because I didn't do nothing.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
And, I'm 63. I had cancer battle. And I got 3 stents to my heart. And the average American lives to like 74 years old.
He thinking about
10
it.
years, I'm dead. So, what I want to take him to jail.
That means they offered him more than 10 years. That's likely what that means. They either offered him 10 or more than 10. And he like, bro, in 10 years, I'll be dead. By the time I get out, I'll be dead. I'm better off, if I'm going to die in jail anyway, I'm better off taking it to trial and having a shot at coming home. That's what it sounds like he's saying, in my opinion. I'm 63 years old. He's wrestling with his own mortality. I'm 63 years old. The average American lives to be 74. That means for him to even say that out his mouth, this is what he's thinking about while he's sitting in there. Bro, if I'm going to get convicted, I'm going to get convicted at trial.
Same way he said somebody wrote him a script to talk that crazy shit about he ain't had nothing to do with it. Or he did it. They wrote him a script. What the fuck make us believe this ain't a script, Keefy D? Now he wants to go ask Suge and Puff. Nigga, please. Nigga, what? Go ask who? Man, listen. Keefy D, if you don't go sit your ass down somewhere, boy, it be repercussions and bone killings going on around here. Let's get in this shit right here, man. They trying to say Beyonce got that monster, man. Like, I don't know, man. Like, what the fuck is going on in the world, man? You know what I'm saying? Take a week off or come back to Beyonce got the monster? Oh, no. Let's get into this.
And yesterday, I said Beyonce got AIDS. Ask me why I wasn't dead after I said Beyonce got AIDS.
People were actually not sure how to feel about this.
Hey,
because as I already said,
Orlando Brown done said it, bruh. He done said it. Now we could just say it's up in the air and make it allegedly. But one thing is for a fact, we have Orlando Brown saying it. I'ma need someone to bring up a clip of Orlando Brown lying, because until then, I'm gonna have to believe what he says. I have to.
actually not sure how to feel about this.
Hey,
because as I already said,
Orlando Brown done said it, bruh. He done said it. Now we could just say it's up in the air and make it allegedly. But one thing is for a fact, we have Orlando Brown saying it. I'm gonna need someone to bring up a clip of Orlando Brown lying, because until then, I'm gonna have to believe what he says. I have to. He's been on the internet talking too much crazy stuff for too long. That happens to always be true. Like at this point, I need a video of him lying so I could possibly try to discredit him for peace of mind. But now, there's some older footage resurfacing of Orlando Brown explaining how Beyonce got infected with one of the worst STDs. And now, that footage resurfacing along with the footage of Beyonce back 2 decades ago sitting on that producer's lap is very concerning. It makes it really look like the dots are really starting to connect, because if she was sitting on that producer's lap from the jump, it shows her in a compromising position, it shows her giving no resistance to these men in the industry, and it really alludes to the fact that she was a part of them freak-offs and doing whatever it takes to get to the top.
But he might feel like, man, I got a slim chance of beating this. I'm gonna take the slim
and
chance.
these executives are literal demons, so they're gonna have sexually transmitted demons inside of them to pass on to other people.
He got a battle cancer. He had all these different health issues.
We're just gonna have to call it what it is.
One way or another, it's a wrap.
I heard it was like some 10, 25.
10, 225.
I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to take a deal like that. And I have, especially after I haven't done nothing. I'm an innocent man.
KVD, you're not an innocent man. 10 to 25.
So now,
murder is actually
let's
love,
hop into this resurface.
Take the 10 to 25 and come on, and I got 20 years of freedom, even if I got to do the full 25.
Beyonce supposedly has full-blown AIDS,
going to jail
and she's been
for 10 to
living
25
it for
years.
No way.
The crazy thing is, Beyonce has done a good job at convincing the world that she's this sweet girl that minds her business and doesn't involve herself in whatever mess they have going on in Hollywood. But word on the street is that she is the complete opposite. The difference between her
You see, now we're dealing with something that's extremely private, you know, and the only reason why I can see Orlando Brown saying something like that is because he knows people that have slept with her that have that type of infection. Who knows how he knows? We about to see right now.
Other folks who have been exposed is that she's just more calculated with it. But here's the thing, though. There's only so much calculation she can do before people catch on. You see, as soon as people started digging into her, they found so many receipts that made Orlando's allegations hard to not believe. Let's start with those lesbian and extreme witchcraft rumors about her. Apparently, the freak-offs are actually just the tip of the iceberg. The lesbian rumors have always been around.
Things like what he's saying.
How concerned are you that you'll be convicted after this trial and you won't get to spend your final years with your family?
Yeah, I think the Ninth Circuit Court is going to let me go. I think they're going to let me go. Plus, it's not right. I'm going to be all right. Because God, serious, he got me. Oh, he got me. Yeah. And I hate I put my family in jeopardy like this. So that's one where I...
Come on with that, cuz. Come on, dog. With the God upstairs, look, everybody know, man. Everybody know how I feel about my faith. Everybody know how I feel about the Lord, Jesus Christ, Yeshua. I love God more than I love anything on this earth, in this earth, above this earth. There's nothing I care more about than God. But God ain't in that, bro. You killed a man. Now, I'm not saying allegedly. Let's say allegedly. I'm not saying that Keefy D.
He ain't say he did it. Keefy D said his nephew did it.
Hey, I said Beyonce got AIDS. Ask me why I wasn't dead after I said Beyonce got AIDS.
People were actually not sure how to feel about this.
Hey,
because as I already said,
Orlando Brown done said it, bruh. He done said it. Now we could just say it's up in the air and make it allegedly. But one thing is for a fact, we have Orlando Brown saying it. I'm gonna need someone to bring up a clip of Orlando Brown lying, because until then, I'm gonna have to believe what he says. I have to. He's been on the internet talking too much crazy stuff for too long that happens to always be true. Like at this point, I need a video of him lying so I could possibly try to discredit him for peace of mind. But now, there's some older footage resurfacing of Orlando Brown explaining how Beyonce got infected with one of the worst STDs. And now, that footage resurfacing along with the footage of Beyonce back 2 decades ago sitting on that producer's lap is very concerning. It makes it really look like the dots are really starting to connect, because if she was sitting on that producer's lap from the jump, it shows her in a compromising position, it shows her giving no resistance to these men in the industry, and it really alludes to the fact that she was a part of them freak-offs and doing whatever it takes to get to the top. Now these producers and these executives are literal demons, so they're gonna have sexually transmitted demons inside of them to pass on to other people. We're just gonna have to call it what it is. So now, let's hop into this resurfaced footage of Orlando Brown explaining how Beyonce got infected.
Brown is back on Beyonce's neck again. And this time he is spilling all the tea about how Beyonce supposedly caught a load of infections while allegedly freaking off with hella people in the industry. And guess what? This ain't no regular infection, y'all. According to Orlando, Beyonce supposedly has full-blown AIDS, and she's been living it for years.
No way.
The crazy thing is, Beyonce has done a good job at convincing the world that she's this sweet girl that minds her business and doesn't involve herself in whatever mess they have going on in Hollywood.
Bruh, no,
but word on the
bro.
street is that she is the complete opposite. The difference between her
You see,
and
now we're dealing with something that's extremely private, you know, and the only reason why I can see Orlando Brown saying something like that is because he knows people that have slept with her that have that type of infection. Who knows how he knows? We about to see right
other
now.
folks who have been exposed is that she's just more calculated with it. But here's the thing though, there's only so much calculation she can do before people catch on. You see, as soon as people started digging into her, they found so many receipts that made Orlando's allegations hard to not believe. Let's start with those lesbian and extreme witchcraft rumors about her. Apparently, the freak-offs are actually just the tip of the iceberg. The lesbian rumors have always been around, but it took a turn for the worse when she got exposed for allegedly getting freaky with other women in a club. According to the source who spilled the tea, Beyonce was seen at The Box with 3 girlfriends, enjoying the club's risque show, surrounded by a huge bodyguard and protective curtains around their table.
Oh, no doubt.
Who was at the show that
Oh, no doubt. When it comes to Beyonce swinging both ways, oh, no doubt. Now, that's just like one of the norms of the industry. You can even look at all of the female artists that are coming up right now, Young Miami, they going both ways.
That night said, Beyonce was really making the most of the burlesque strip show. She was on the table in the VIP balcony cheering loudly as 2 girls got naked and licked each other's feet. She stayed until 3:30 in the morning.
Terry Lynn Carrington, who put together Beyonce's entire female band, which was Matthew Knowles' idea because he couldn't get Beyonce to stop people. Guess you didn't know your daughter well enough, because she just started f***ing all the girls.
And that right there was Jaguar Wright. And if you know anything about her, then you know she has never shied away from dragging Beyonce for filth every chance she gets. She is actually one of the first people to slam Beyonce for apparently being involved in heavy witchcraft. But the thing about the witchcraft rumors is that Beyonce had a hand in starting it, even before Jaguar stepped into the chat. You see, back when she started going by her infamous Sasha Fierce alter ego, she revealed that every time she used it, She felt possessed. She said, right before I performed for the BET Awards, I raised my hands and it was the first time I felt something else come into me. I knew that was going to be my coming out night at the award show. Anyway, in 2018, her former drummer, who had been on tour with her for years, quit her job in the middle of the On the Run 2 tour, claiming she was using extreme witchcraft behind the scenes. She said when she finally quit the tour, Bey was allegedly sending people to scare her into staying silent so the truth wouldn't come out. Things got so bad that she filed a restraining order against Beyonce because she was scared for her life.
Beyonce's ex-drummer of 7 years, she is seeking a restraining order against Beyonce. She's accusing her of dark magic, witchcraft, tapping into her phone bill, and basically
now I actually want to get like an overview of how many people really believe that Beyonce practices things like dark magic and witchcraft. And let's just see in the comment section. And if you don't, you can comment that. If you do, you can comment that. And while you down there, hit the like button. It'll absolutely make my day.
Finances harassing her. She's saying the Beyonce camp is put up a huge harassment campaign against her, and it's overall witchcraft. She sought a restraining order in the past. It got denied, and she has another one scheduled for October 11th. But the internet is just like, what? Excuse me? And you know, I was just at the Beyonce concert.
But this happened like years back. I think like 5, maybe even 7 years back. Like this happened a long time ago. It just speaks volumes even today, because for a person to go as far as filing a restraining order says a lot.
Last week in Houston, it was definitely a religious experience.
But it gets worse. According to Orlando Brown's recent allegations, the witchcraft and lesbian freak-offs were actually just a portion of everything she's been involved in. He claims Beyonce and Jay-Z were actively freaking off with Diddy, and she ended up catching AIDS.
And yesterday, I said Beyonce got AIDS. Ask me why I wasn't dead after I said Beyonce got AIDS.
People were actually not sure how to feel about this.
Hey,
because as I already said,
Orlando Brown done said it, bruh. He done said it. Now we could just say it's up in the air and make it allegedly. But one thing is for a fact, we have Orlando Brown saying it.
Beyonce is the last person anyone was expecting to be doing things like this. Talk less of her having AIDS. But once those receipts started getting exposed, everything suddenly began to make sense. I mean, do y'all remember that time when Rihanna's ex-publicist, Jonathan Hay, jumped on an DL? He said he actually saw Jay-Z allegedly get on an interview and accused Jay-Z of being DL. He said he actually saw Jay-Z allegedly getting freaky with a trans woman. Mind you, he and Beyonce were still very much married at the time of this supposed incident.
You know, so and that's the thing, like, when it comes, a lot of this could just be rumors and narrative. I'm gonna try to be as unbiased as possible. And I just try to stick to the people that have spoken a lot. I've seen them speak over a longer period of time, and I've seen things that happen to be true. We have this allegation that Jay-Z was getting freaky with a trans. Now looky, to each his own. I would not be surprised. But did he really see that? You know what I'm saying? I don't know him to be the most credible source. Just throwing that out there.
People are saying there is a chance that she caught something and passed it on to Beyonce. Allegedly, of course.
We see Jay-Z with transgender,
you know,
women.
and especially when he pulls up onto the podcast wearing some goofy ass headphones with a freaking teddy bear hat, looking with a wig on. You know what I'm saying? Jonathan Hay. I think he was like Rihanna's assistant. You know what I'm saying? So he was in the industry, but you know, like, come on. I don't know you to be too credible, my boy.
I have, correct. It was during the tour.
Oh,
it was during the tour with the Mill, DMX, Jay-Z.
The Hard Knock Life.
No.
Or maybe a different one.
Yeah, they had the documentary for it. What was that called? I'll think of it. I'll think of it here in a little bit.
Yeah, it was a documentary, backstage or the
backstage with the Mill and all that. I used to work with her, and I definitely it was unmistakable. You know, in 2024, the trans women are, you know, it can be hard. You know, like a lot of people that, you know, they don't know. But back then it wasn't as advanced, and you could clearly tell, you know, that was a guy.
Now, this is where things get even crazier. Jonathan also said Jay was doing freak-offs just like the ones Diddy was doing with Cassie. But here's the thing though, unlike Diddy, he wasn't paying other men to handle Beyonce. He was allegedly just letting other male celebrities do it. And apparently, Ray J, of all people, was one of them.
Is a cuckold.
Bro, like, and I wouldn't be surprised, like, that recent, like, in the actual freak-off, it wasn't like some big grand thing, but it was just one that was done with Diddy, his girl at the time, and another dude. So it's like, it's just, things that come to light that it's like a real thing. Like, they'll have their girl just smash other dudes in front of them, and it turns them on or something like that.
Right? He likes to watch Beyonce with other men. Ray J, from
I
what
wouldn't
I
see,
heard,
and even that, I wouldn't be surprised if Jay-Z was doing that too. Really wouldn't.
Even before all this happened, was one of the guys that used to smash Beyonce while Jay-Z would watch.
And in case you're wondering if Jonathan is the same one who made those allegations back in the day about Jay allegedly sleeping with Rihanna, well, yes, he was the one. And he didn't hold back this time either. This time, he added extra info about how the feds reached out to him after those allegations, because they were already building a whole case against Jay-Z for allegedly. He said, and I quote, "The officers clarified that they were investigating Jay-Z for allegedly engaging in activity with underage Rihanna and transporting her across international borders. They said she wasn't the only one, and there were many others. These are some serious allegations this man is making. And the fact that he's not even bothering to say allegedly has people convinced he must have receipts stashed somewhere to back up his claims. Because you don't
know, it's come to the point where I start to think that the music industry, the system of it, literally thrives off of demonic rituals. And let me explain why. Like, even when it comes to signing these record deals, not only is it very compromising for like what you have to do, like get on your knees, you know what I'm saying? Come over here, come sit on my lap. Like that one executive with Beyonce, that he had her in a compromising position. But not only that, they sign themselves into a contract that basically gives them no freedom. It silences themselves, gives them no expression, and that's like what the entire system is based off of. And now knowing what you have to do to even get that deal is concerning. All of it just happens to be demonic.
Speak that boldly about people this powerful unless you're either fearless or you know something. And it didn't stop there, because there have also been rumors floating around for years about Beyonce allegedly messing with other men on the low behind the scenes.
And all that to say, I'm gonna let the video play. My point in saying that was like, it seems as if the more evil you do and the more people you get to be affected by your evil, the higher your ranking gets in the industry itself.
Even though the only man she's ever been publicly posed up with is Jay-Z. One of the oldest and messiest rumors is the one about her and Pimp C allegedly having some kind of situation back in the day. So word on the street is that there was a tape of her and Pimp C, but Jay supposedly made a little loose.
You know, yeah, but like it's such a dirty industry. You know, if you're trying to sell something like that, there's definitely going to be money on your head. Say you have a hold of this footage, or you know where to get access to this footage of a freak off with Beyonce. Okay, cool. All right, he's saying that TMZ will pay a bag. What's the bag looking like? You definitely gonna have to sell that for multiple millions of dollars. So you bring it to TMZ, you let them know that you have this product that they can buy for multiple millions of dollars. But what is TMZ gonna do? They're going to take it one step further. They're going to reach out to Jay-Z and be like, hey, I know someone that has this footage of you that's offering it for multiple millions of dollars. But what I can do, I can get it. You send me 100 mil, 200 mil, and then everything could be silenced. And now what is Jay-Z and his team going to do? Hey, look it. Yeah. Everyone dying, nigga. That's what's gonna happen. Everyone dying because that tape is not getting out. And they, like, you know what I'm saying? They'll get away with it. They'll silence it that way.
Tana Goose, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, they also know who was having money at the time. So it's not really hard to figure out. But, you know,
just tell us. Just say the name.
But no, the only reason why I won't tell it because Pimp C is not here. So therefore, I'm respecting his wishes. If he wanted to get out, maybe he would have put it out. Maybe he might have had to deal with the situation. You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe him.
Word on the street is that the theory doesn't stop at Jay being involved. Folks claim the way it supposedly happened was symbolic and sinister. According to DJ Paul of 3 6 Mafia, Pimp's manager disturbingly described the scene, saying Pimp's body was positioned like he was praying, with blood present, which had people speculating he may have been hit in the head. Now let me be very clear before y'all run with this. Pimp C's official cause of death was documented as an accidental overdose combined with his sleep apnea.
It's
That
always
is what
an
the coroner
overdose.
ruled. So everything else is internet theory and secondhand stories, not facts. But the reason the conspiracy crowd won't let it go is because of the tension that already existed between Jay and Pimp before he passed. What happened right after the deal was cut for Jay-Z and UGK to collaborate on Big Pimpin'. According to Greg, he called Pimp up after the deal was done. But here's the messy part. The call was on speaker, and Pimp had no idea anybody else could hear him. And Pimp started going off, dissing Jay.
Meeting to go meet with Dame Dash. So we go after I leave Java, go to Rock to the Rock. As soon as I sit down there, Dame Dash opened up his checkbook, cut a check for $1 million. I'm like, whoa. He like, I was like, is this for sure? He was like, no. He said, we want to with UGK. I was like, what? He's like, we want to with your boys. That's right. So I immediately picked up the phone and called Pimp C, because all I was trying to get was 100,000. When Dame cut that $1 million, I called Pimp on the phone like, yo, Pimp, and him and Jamal was in the house, and I could hear a tussle or some type of confrontation, right? And I'm like, calm down, bro, y'all calm down, Pimp.
I ran up the cable bill.
They was fighting. Okay, they was fighting like hard. And I'm like, Pimp, stop whatever you doing right now. I told you what's going down with Jamal when you moved him up in there. I said, but right now, I got $1 million check for you. And all we wanted was 100,000. I was just like, who is that with? I said, with Rockefeller. He was like, what? I was like, yeah. He was like, I'm watching Dan with the checkbook, he writing out. He was like, ain't that with, over there with Jay-Z? I was like, yeah. He was like, man, tell him to take that check and go give it to Tupac Mama, man.
But that's not all. There were also rumors that Beyonce and Mos Def had a little fling going on back in the day. Cypher Sounds even spilled the tea about the time he spent a weekend with Destiny's Child. He said while he was cutting it up with them, he noticed that Beyonce and Mos were unusually close.
I DJ'd for Mos Def and we went over to London for some shows and Destiny's Child was performing there. And I don't know if you know this, and don't tell anybody if you don't, but Mos Def kind of used to mess with Beyonce.
As if things couldn't get any worse, the lawyer Ariel Mitchell-Kidd revealed in an interview that she recently got approached by a potential client who wanted her to reinsert them in the sale of a freak-off tape between Diddy and a certain high-profile celebrity. Ariel said the person in the video was more high-profile than Diddy and wasn't aware they were being recorded.
I also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No, I can't explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay. You can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video. And I can tell the video is pornographic in nature.
Oh my, all right. So we know that he videotaped a lot of activities at his home, did he? And it sounds like there was probably a lot of hidden cameras as well. Is that what is being talked about?
Yes, this was actually in his Atlanta home, at a home he had in Atlanta at one point. And it does seem that the person isn't like looking into the video, so it's, to me, doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. It doesn't seem like they're active participant in the videotaping, like they're being searched.
Well, here's the thing. Let's bring it back to what Orlando Brown had to say. It was a very quick snippet, but I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to Beyonce and her doing what she had to do in the industry to be at the top, she definitely did what she had to do. Whether it was sleep with a couple people, get a deal here, get a collab there, make a couple mil here, get a connection there. You know, starting at such a young age, at 19 years old, would not be surprised. Now, the probability of you catching something doing all of that is very, very high. But this is kind of something that we'll never know. We'll never actually get the real confirmation. All we really have being said is Orlando Brown saying it. And some people say he's crazy, but like I said, please, someone give me a clip of Orlando Brown saying something that like is just not true. Please, please. You get what I'm saying?
It's not. I don't have no problem with folks attacking the content creators. I don't have a problem with folks attacking Ben Crump. Ben Crump used to that. Ben Crump is like Superman. It bounces off, it hit his chest and bounces right off. He used to being attacked. Folks don't even attack Mr. Elmore. Folks, I don't even hear people attacking Nolan Wells' dad. They coming straight for his mom. It's suspect for the ladies. Cause she pretty? She got a career? She ain't up there acting ratchet? Which one is it? She ain't giving no attitude? Which one is it? We've watched so many times. But now we got a grieving mom. We got a grieving mom that's successful. did everything in her power to raise her children correctly. See, you don't imagine. You just can't imagine, man. You can't imagine. You know, when the Pookies and the Ray Rays and them, when they lose their lives, they moms be hurt. They moms be cut so deep. Because before the world knew Pookie and Ray Ray for who they grew up to be, the mom knew Pookie and Ray Ray as her baby. And even though she knows Pookie was out there moving foul, Ray Ray was out there moving foul, and you know, hey, it comes with the territory. She's still hurting. But imagine a mom. Imagine a mom whose son was on his way to be one of the best athletes in the game. Everybody talks so highly of Nolan Wells. And imagine his mom. Like, imagine his mom. See, you got to put yourself in her shoes. Remember, she was out at the island. Remember, she saw Nolan Wells' badly decomposed body. Stay right there. Stay right. I just want y'all to stay right there with me. Just imagine. Miss Christine saw her baby's badly decomposed body. I'm going to come to my chat. Ain't nothing else for Shank Rock to say. I'm going to come to my chat. Lord have mercy. People need to stop putting negative titles on someone's pain. Coming for another woman, a grieving mother, shows who you are. For the haters and trolls, shame on you. Right. Yes, because she pretty, have a career, and is married. A jealous person. Excuse me, y'all. She's hurting deeply. She's trying to find answers before it hit her hard. Then she's going to break. She coming too hard for them, and the right against them YT folks, they don't like it. Lord have mercy. Her peaceful spirit and kind heart is what's going to bring her justice for Nolan Wells. Broken hearts. J Bone Milton, LOL, I live in North Carolina, don't know the boys. I've just grown up on the coast and on boats. Don't try Miss Christine, try Jesus Christ, period. I like that, Smurf. I like that. Shank, she is doing the right thing, getting that Cito audio. Yes, OG music, yes. Seeing your child like that, I know that hurt. My heart goes out to her. With all due respect to the dad, I wonder why he doesn't speak up more. And about that Tatum dude, he don't address him at least one time. I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for Mr. Elmore, but I'm sure the reason why he's staying quiet because he do not want his peace to get broken. That's the worst thing you want to do is break a man's peace. And just as well as she saw Nolan's badly decomposed body, he saw it too. So I can almost promise you that man, and that's the reason, because I can just, but that man stand quiet for very good purposes. Mr. Elmore was going into the NFL. The 49ers had interest in him, but he didn't pass one of the tests at training camp. He said this yesterday on another show. Appreciate you, Care Bad. Hold up, y'all. That's a big pill to swallow, Shank Rock. That took all that lady feelings from her body. She's holding up by a prop. I mean, I think some people are jealous after beauty. I see you, Holistic. I see you. The dad is probably trying not to crash out. Yes. Appreciate that super sticker, Smurf. Nolan didn't come from a terrible family. His parents did all they could, and they have 6 children together. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Can we have 7 days of boycott, please? There is power in numbers. Yes, yes. As for the dad, he's deeply hurt. He's trying to show being strong to hold his family together. Look at God. And it's like I said, that they should have a picture of Miss Christine, and under the picture it should say, look at God. They definitely should have a picture of Mr. Elmore, and underneath it, it should say, look at God's mercy. Because only God, in my opinion, only God can be in the midst of Mr. Elmore and Miss Christine right now. Only God. That's exactly what he said, and his wife told him she needs him. She can't do this alone. And that's a righteous man. Mr. Elmore, that's a righteous man. A righteous man has many attributes. One of the attributes of a righteous man is putting others. Oh, man, y'all. One of the attributes of a righteous man is putting others before ourselves. Sometimes you got to do that as a man. And he knows that the program is bigger than him. He knows he ain't bigger than the program. See, it's a lot. It's a lot that comes with being a man, let alone a righteous man. But it's a lot that comes with being a man. Discipline. You got to be disciplined, man. You got to be humble. And that's why they say Jesus Christ was the perfect example of a man. I'm just giving y'all what the pastors say, y'all. So please, y'all, please. When y'all hear me speak on Jesus Christ, I'm speaking on things that I heard from the pastors, the preachers, and the ministers. But Jesus was that perfect example of man to lead mankind back to God. The example that he set forward. Humbleness. Man, oh man, I could go on and on and on. He's trying to stay strong for the family. He said that. Exactly. Nolan dad is a real man. Exactly. If the daddy breaks, then the mom will have a nervous breakdown. Then he's going to lose her. Exactly. Mr. Elmore is keeping it cool for Miss Christine. He got to be strong, and he got to stay focused on everything everybody doing. Exactly. Everybody knows you got to watch the quiet ones, never know what they would do. Exactly. I see you, 80s, baby. Please pray, allow Miss Christine to grieve for the child. Mom can't subpoena, squat liar. Shank, you have a very blessed village over here, Home Skillet. I appreciate you, Belinda. I appreciate you for helping me build my community, and I appreciate you for playing a part in the community that we call a village. I'm glad Elmore is silent. Silence speaks volumes, but watch how he moves. If he was to become emotional, the world will use that against Nolan. Elmore, my brother, stand strong. Facts, y'all. Facts. They waiting to use something against him. Facts. They in here. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Self-control, a fruit of the spirit, May God be with them. Moderators, if they get to acting a fool, get them up out of here. Get your stupid on somewhere, King or her attorney said. Once again, moderators, if they get to acting stupid, get them up out of here. Amen. Change.org for all important petitions. Be the change you want to see. That family believes in God, and believe me, they're asking God to lead their feet. God is showing them the way. Amen. Mr. Elmore holding down the fort and staying strong for his family. That's right. Discipline and self-control during a severe crisis. Much respect for him. So now you have, let me do this, y'all. I'm going to play this dude today, man. I'm going to get this dude up out of here, man. Let me do that real quick, y'all. Let me get him up from around here, man. Appreciate this super sticker, Peaches. So, before we get out of here, let me see if there's something else that I missed.
That altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in that altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it.
After the fight, I didn't stay on Her Island much longer. So the objective, I was really upset. So with you hearing me yelling, my uncle told me to get on the boat and wouldn't let me back off the boat. Obviously, I was really mad and I wanted to fight, wanted to get out. Wasn't smart, man. And so I was on the boat, I'm yelling. And shortly after that, I left the island. I left probably 30 to 45 minutes after I got into a fight. We started to pack up and left because I was so upset. As Javon mentions, that they were ready to get me back to land because I was really mad. I was genuinely really mad.
Describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about? He was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were just trying to, like the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
Now here's a scene that I've been talking about, and there's a guy in the red shorts, and I believe the guy that is being whisked away could be Warren's brother. And in this footage, you will see a possible parent right here not letting him on the boat. So when I seen this and heard that, it clicked. Could this be what they're talking about? The problem is I don't see Trayston or his girlfriend. So who is this kid?
Me and my girlfriend, I wouldn't even call it an argument. She was upset that I lost the lid to her koozie. I dropped it in the water. And I dropped her new koozie in the water. And so she started to, let me hear. hear it, and basically told me I was paying for it, and she was really upset with me and mad about it, and I needed to kind of sober her up a little bit. And so we're walking back, and during that time, this guy that I'm not friends with, I know of him, I don't know him, I didn't even recognize him when I got in an original fight. He had butted himself into my conversation, and basically was telling me how I needed to handle or address the situation with my girlfriend. And man, we weren't even yelling at each other, we weren't arguing. It was more along the lines of, I literally told her, I was like, man, I just want a beer. And she was like, well, go get one, blah, blah, blah. Well, when I said that, she ducked her in the water, and he had walked up and he told me that I needed to watch how I talk to my girlfriend. And I looked at him and I told him, I was like, this has nothing to do with you. We're good. This has nothing to do with you. And he sat there and he was like, well, I'm gonna tell you, I better not hear it again. And I looked at him, I was like, you need to excuse yourself from the situation. And after I came out, he swung. He threw the first punch. And we went back and forth. I remember at one point in time, I look over and I see my uncle, and my uncle's yelling at me to get in the boat. I stopped fighting. As soon as me and him made eye contact, I got in the boat, I'm sorry.
And what was Warren's brother involvement in this?
And so I was getting there. So when I'm on the boat and they're trying to cool me down, I'm trying to get off the boat. So I see the crowd forming up on the island. Well, my little brother and Carter are like really good friends, like best friends, I would say. He's over at our house all the time. Carter heard him still talking crap as he's getting out of the water, and I'm on the boat, and the situation is like done and over with, right? Well, he sees him talking crap, so Carter gets up, and more along the lines of defending me. And for what? He was like, well, if you got a problem with Tristan, we can handle it right here.
So in one case, someone wants to get off the boat, and the younger boy wants to get on the boat. Was it in the water or on the shoreline? Because we have videos of both. The question is, which one involved them, because they're not featured in any. Or at least I can't tell. Maybe you can. Do you see them? This is the most recent video claiming it to be from the 4th, and you can see what's going on in the water. So 2 in the water, 1 on the shoreline. And the time is 3:30.
That altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation on the boat. And they were trying to, like, as he was in the altercation, I was calming him down. They were trying to get him out off the island. They were trying to get him back to land because he was just losing it.
After the fight, I didn't stay on her island much longer. So the objective, I was really upset. So with you hearing me yelling, my uncle told me to get on the boat and wouldn't let me back off the boat. Obviously, I was really mad and I wanted to fight, wanted to get off. What wasn't smart, man. And so I was on the boat, I'm yelling, and shortly after that, I left the island. I left probably 30 to 45 minutes after I got into a fight. We started to pack up and left because I was so upset. As Javon mentions, that they were ready to get me back to land because I was really mad. I was genuinely really mad.
Describe that. That's kind of interesting. What was that about?
He was just very hostile. Like he was just like really like mad. Like they were just trying to, like the parents on that boat were trying to get him out.
Now here's a scene that I've been talking about, and there's the guy in the red shorts. And I believe the guy that is being whisked away could be Warren's brother. And in this footage, you will see a possible parent right here, not letting him on the boat. So when I seen this and heard that, it clicked. Could this be what they're talking about? The problem is, I don't see Tristan or his girlfriend. So who is this kid?
Me and my girlfriend, I wouldn't even call it an argument. She was upset that I lost the lid to her koozie. I dropped it in the water. And I dropped her new koozie in the water. And so she started to let me hear it, and basically told me I was paying for it, and she was really upset with me and mad about it, and I needed to kind of sober her up a little bit. And so we're walking back, and during that time, this guy that I'm not friends with, I know of him, I don't know him, I didn't even recognize him when I got in an original fight. He had butted himself into my conversation, and basically was telling me how I needed to handle or address the situation with my girlfriend. And man, we weren't even yelling at each other, we weren't arguing. It was more along the lines of, I literally told her, I was like, man, I just want a beer. And she was like, well, go get one, blah, blah, blah. Well, when I said that, she ducked her in the water, and he had walked up, and he told me that I needed to watch how I talk to my girlfriend. And I looked at him and I told him, I was like, this has nothing to do with you. We're good. This has nothing to do with you. And he sat there and he was like, well, I'm gonna tell you, I better not hear it again. And I looked at him, I was like, you need to excuse yourself from the situation. And after I came out, he swung. He threw the first punch. And we went back and forth. I remember at one point in time, I look over and I see my uncle, and my uncle's yelling at me to get in the boat. I stopped fighting. As soon as me and him made eye contact, I got in the boat, I'm sorry.
And what was Warren's brother involvement in this?
And so I was getting there. So when I'm on the boat and they're trying to cool me down, I'm trying to get back off the boat. So I see the crowd forming up on the island. Well, my little brother and Carter are like really good friends, like best friends, I would say. He's over at our house all the time. Carter heard him still talking crap as he's getting out of the water, and I'm on the boat, and the situation is like done and over with, right? Well, he sees him talking crap, so Carter gets up, and more along the lines of defending me. And for what? He was like, well, if you got a problem with Tristan, we can handle it right here.
So in one case, someone wants to get off the boat, and the younger boy wants to get on the boat. Was it in the water or on the shoreline? Because we have videos of both. The question is, which one involved them, because they're not featured in any. Or at least I can't tell. Maybe you can. Do you see them? This is the most recent video claiming it to be from the 4th, and you can see what's going on in the water. So 2 in the water, 1 on the shoreline. And the time is 3:30.
That altercation, it sounds just like my other friend that got into the altercation.
2. We back. We live now. That's crazy. I was on this whole time with no sound, but it's all good. We back. Alright, but anyway, man, Nolan Wells, man, those wasn't his friends, man, because your friends won't let you get unalived and then not telling people what happened. McDonald's just got caught. Americans know something is wrong. What the fuck is that? Got caught doing what? Oh, I don't know. What the fuck McDonald's got caught doing? This nigga's a clone. Nancy Grace destroys Officer Tatum again. Come on, let's see this shit. It can't be. It's goofy right here. You got this motherfucking rabbit ass mind.
What up, family? It's your host with the most, Finding Nemo, aka I'm just here on the side of caution with that one. All right. Outside of that, we got Jew
Give it up for Big Shot Ammo
Almighty, or Jew Almighty, whichever one you want to go to. This one is on his Jew page. All right. So shout out to the good brother Jew Almighty. He is providing us with an update about this whole Nolan Wells, what's his name, Officer Tate Dumb. And then also Nancy cooking him. Now y'all seen the video of me showing y'all Nancy cooking him. There's more video of him getting cooked as well. I did not know Nancy just had this in her repertoire. She been putting the belt to this man. I'm talking about extension cord. I'm talking about a wire hanger. My dog, she is not playing. So shout out to
you make it seem like that's something impossible to do. He's a motherfucking bootlicker. Anybody could put the belt in that little coward. You didn't see what he did in the Nolan Wells case, man? That was disgusting. Officer Bootlicker. You, sir, need to be hog-tied, flogged. For the antics you displayed in the Nolan Wells case, man. Terrible, man. He said, these boys had nothing to do with it. So you went to the island, and you came back to say that? If you don't get your little monkey ass out of here, go sit down somewhere, boy. Bootlicker Tatum, y'all. Let's talk about it. Shout it up. Brandon knows, let's go.
Jew, you know we got to support our good brother over there on that side. He don't play no games, and we ain't gonna play no games about supporting Jew. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and get into this and see what we got today.
Raccoon of the Year, Brandon Tatum is still at it, and Nancy Grace is still embarrassing him.
The cadaver dogs were made available, but Benjamin Crump to utilize them to do a search on the boat. They refused.
Stop playing. You see how he threw that out there? The cadaver dogs was useless for her. You shut your... Look, anybody would have fell for that, right? If they didn't know the circumstance of the situation. The situation is this. Christine Wells, Nolan Wells' mother, right? Lost her child after he went off to Horns Island with his friends, right? So goofball right here on the screen is basically trying to tell us that those boys had nothing to do with it, right? He said he got evidence. He's seen pictures, videos. He went to the island. He looked around. He saw all there was to see. And then he came back with his report. And it was a little disturbing to me. You see, with all the evidence that's out there, there's no way that you could dispute what happened here. But he would want to come on Nancy Grace and to try to convince you and me that all those boys took polygraph tests. They never did. He's seen the footage. Where's the metadata? Right? This guy is a goofball. Bootlicker A #1. and he should be treated as such from thenceforth. The man showed his true colors when it comes to black people. He don't care about us. He don't like us. He wish he wasn't one of us. And he's a bootlegger. Now let's get back to some of the lies that he got caught telling, right? And anybody that's still following the goofball extraordinaire right here on the screen, it's still right here, see, yeah? You're a goofball as well.
Reason to search
everything on Crump? It's not.
Did he say cadaver dog? How can a lawyer or the family get cadaver dogs out there or order them or anything? That's the police.
Thank you. How you want cadaver dogs? How you want the Nolan Wells family to tell the cadaver dogs to search a boat that they don't even own? And he knew that. He clearly knew that they could not tell the cadaver dogs to go search the boat because it wasn't their boat, right? Instead of directing the cadaver dogs to the people who could tell them to go ahead search the boat, he wasted all his time diverting, letting Sink get off the boat. He didn't know what they were doing. You understand? And he, I believe, should be pulled into this case for playing with evidence and trying to shape and direct the narrative to fit this goofball ass bootlicking situation that he was trying to lay out before us like we stupid or something. We smarter than you, Tatum. You know why I know that? Because you went to college. You have been indoctrinated to the fullest extent of the indoctrination policy can allow. You understand? Somebody told you that the guy, oh yeah, he's on the next screen. I can't see it, but he told him, you are internalistically hating yourself. That's some stupid shit. He told him some shit. He told him like, hey, what? That's not me. He said, yeah, that's you. It's you. Bootlicker. Look like you ain't had a shave in a couple of days, man. It's getting to you. Fucking goofy, man. Yo, Tatum, man, you's a goofy, man. Anybody that listens or follows is a goofy as well.
Not even 13 seconds in.
He's not ordering it.
Ever since the Nolan Wells story popped up, Brandon Tatum has been running cover for the teens, their parents, and authorities.
Tyler Cox is very clear about what he's saying, that the boys had nothing to do with it. So if there's anything missing from the phone, it had nothing to do with them.
While constantly spreading misinformation, lying on Nolan Wells, and attacking his mother, along with anybody that has anything to do with supporting Nolan Wells.
Well, from my understanding, authorities do not have, and the family have not been cooperating with authorities to give the phone over, which is very interesting to me. You want to find out what happened to your son, you would think you will be doing everything you can to cooperate.
But I'm Jew. Welcome to the channel. Please like and share the video. Don't forget to sub. Now, let's get into it.
I don't think they've cooperated at all. They do not have Nolan's phone. They haven't had access to Nolan's phone. The Jackson County Sheriff's Department has it. So how can you say that there's text missing or there's photographs missing? Our boys had no reason to do anything with Nolan's phone other than give it back to Christine.
All right, so why y'all took the phone from the boat to the house to the car? What y'all was up to? And don't be making it seem like you can't get a phone cracked, man. Because I took a phone right down the block right now to old Muhammad at the electronics shop, and he could be up in there. So don't act like it's impossible to happen, bro. All right? So we ain't really trying to hear all that womp. Y'all trying to get across because we already know what happened, man. We just waiting for somebody to get locked up. You know what I mean? Because if the shoe was on the other foot, baby boy, you'd be locked up already. Facts.
And her friends later that night. So anything about missing text messages or Snapchats is completely false.
If they did something to Nolan Wells, they had every reason to do something to Nolan's phone, including deleting pictures and text messages and videos, just like they deleted their social media accounts immediately. And then how would this lawyer know what's missing and what's not missing if he never saw the phone?
And her friends later that night. So anything about missing text messages or Snapchats is completely false.
Big question. That is Tyler Cox, representing the so-called friends of Nolan on Horn.
Shout out to Nancy for calling them so-called. They is not your friends. They are not your friends. They are not your friends. They're not your friends. This is not your friends. You never have a friend. I've lost some close people. I've never went at their mama. Not a day in my life. And I ain't seen none of the homies. I ain't seen nobody else do it either. I've never seen that. This is the first time I've ever seen somebody going at the mama. I'm talking about going all the way back to FBG Duck getting took out. They ain't even go at his mama. And they hated them.
I'm so happy she said so-called, because these people were not his friends. Every time I hear friends, it needs air quotes or an asterisk next to it, because they were not his friends. This is not...
Y'all see why I watched you? Y'all see why I reviewed you? I ain't watched this video at all. But I know, like, we be on the same wavelength when it comes to this, like, when it comes to this ignorance, stupidity, intellectual dishonesty, being willfully obtuse, being disingenuous, all of this stuff, girl. We be catching that.
Not how friends act when their friend dies mysterious.
Never.
They will be doing everything in their power to try to get to the truth, to try to understand what happened to their friend. They will be sorrowful and mournful, even if they had nothing to do with it. And we get none of that energy from any of these people. They are not and never were his friends.
And if he's claiming that no one see the phone, how does he know that something's not missing?
Right.
So that's a double-edged.
Facts, man. They just too busy trying to get themselves out of hot water, you understand? They know what happened to Nolan, man. Just look at their facial expressions, man. Every time they do one of those dumbass interviews and shit. You understand me? Every time they do one of them dumbass interviews, they just make a mockery out of themselves until they put themselves right up under the heat and then wonder why we, what? What did he just say? And he wanted to believe, what? Oh, hell no, lock these little niggas up ASAP. And I don't even know what they're waiting for. Because if it was me, you, or I, we would be already incarcerated, brother.
Sword, isn't it, out to Brandon Tatum?
She said his name, how we all think of him at this fucking point. Brandon Tatum. I think the level of vitriol and hatred that the black community has for this dude at this point is unrivaled.
Tatum, Tyler Cox stating, I don't think they cooperated at all. I think he's talking about Nolan's family. I guess the sheriff's office haven't had access to Nolan's phone. Well, can't they subpoena that? It's called a subpoena duces tecum.
I would completely understand the Nolan Wells family being very hesitant to cooperate with those authorities, especially without lawyers involved, because this was a very clear cover up from day one. Just like we see of all these lynchings happening around America right now, especially in the South. I think there was just one in Raleigh, North Carolina, where a black man was found downtown and authorities immediately rushed to say it was a self-delete. Black people...
You got that one. You got the girl that was lynched. You got a few that was in Mississippi that was lynched. You got the dude Daniel Irvin out in Texas. You got what's that dude? What's the young man's name? Something Tyson. Out of Texas as well, who got shot in the head, and they was talking about it was Russian roulette. Didn't arrest nobody. Didn't do anything. And y'all just seen that one girl up in Michigan, all like. I don't know where she was at specifically, like it's like mid-Michigan. And she was drugged and beat. Drugged and beat. And kidnapped. And y'all trying to say, oh yeah, no, they're saying these people doing some self-deletions. Nah, ain't no black person doing no self-deletions of hanging themselves. If you are that ignorant and stupid to ever believe that, then that means that you have a preconceived notion of wanting to believe that.
People do not lynch themselves. That is not a thing we have ever done. Never. So for all of these mysterious lynchings to be happening and authorities just to rush to say that they're self-deletes, it's why black people have a hard time trusting authorities and the system to start with, just like in this case.
Tecum is for an item, an object, a document. The sheriff can give out a subpoena duces tecum or get a warrant for an object. I'm quoting, how can you say there's no text message or photo, as a text message or photos missing? Well, according to the mom, she says that there was nothing sent out while Nolan was at Horn Island, which she found very odd. I have no reason to disbelieve her. So how can you say there were missing or there weren't missing? I don't think you can say it either way. Why don't they just get a search warrant and go get the phone?
And it's so funny because everybody else had their phones. These teenagers do not go anywhere without phones.
Where is Nolan's phone? Do authorities have it?
Well, from my understanding, authorities do not have it, and the family have not been cooperating with authorities to give the phone over. According to the testimony or written statement from the lawyer that represents the family, the Nolan Wells family, he had made mention that he's prepared to cooperate, but they have not cooperated yet, which is very interesting to me. You want to find out what happened to your son, you would think you would be doing everything you can, but it just seems to be very off-putting for them not to at least give the phone over and do it exactly they told the world they were.
What? That's off-putting that they are skeptical about the same people that said, hey, yeah, that was an accidental drowning within an hour and a half of them finding him. bro, this dude Tatum is despicable. Like that internalized racism, that, oh my God, bro. This dude really takes on the colonizer's thought process. And he absorbs it, and he is full-fledged in it.
We're going to do, and that is to allow a forensic extraction of his phone. Therefore, the world can see if there is things that have been deleted. I think Tyler Cox is very clear about what he's saying, that the boys had nothing to do with it. So if there's anything missing from the phone, it had nothing to do with them.
They went from saying there's nothing missing from the phone to if there is anything missing, it had nothing to do with them. Who would be deleting things off his phone other than them, though? In between the time that they had the phone, they delivered it to his mom.
You're saying a lot, and I want to address each thing so we don't leave anything out. Number one, you just stated that it looks really bad for Nolan's family not to hand over the phone. Do you have any independent knowledge they have not handed over the phone?
According to their lawyer that wrote a statement, and the statement was, we're prepared to cooperate, but that was as of the 11th, therefore they have not cooperated.
Do you not know that this man is specifically being disingenuous, because it says from July 15th that they have been in communication to coordinate a dual research of that phone, a dual investigation. But now he just keeps positioning that, oh yeah, they said that they're prepared to cooperate. So they said that there was a prior agreement on how they were going to extract the information from the phone. Why are you being so willfully? Why are you lying? Why are you just willfully misrepresenting things? This dude is nasty.
Tyler Cox has made mention that he don't believe they cooperated whatsoever as well. So
Extrapolating.
Yeah.
You're taking the words, Tatum, that their words that they're prepared to cooperate to mean they haven't handed over the phone.
That's a good point. Did authorities say they don't have the phone? Maybe there was an agreement between the lawyer and the authorities with how to handle the phone, when to turn over the phone. We're just hearing the lawyer who's defending these white kids, and the second lawyer, which is what Brandon Tatum is at this point. He basically works for the family, running cover and defending them while trying to attack the Nolan Wells side.
Isn't that true?
Hold on, before we even get past that, Juju, that's a good one, my brother. That is a good one. He is being their PR campaign. He is working on behalf of that family. He is specifically doing their bidding. And then here's the thing about that. Him being a black guy and a police officer, that tries to give them like the credence and the credentials to be able to position this type of thing. It's the same thing with Stephen A. Like, you have this person that has the credence and the credentials, but then they misrepresent things in the most cantankerous way, in the most disparaging way, in the most disingenuous way, in the most intellectually dishonest way. But yet he will still do that. Oh, he is nasty. But shout out to Jew. I didn't position that in that way, but that is a very good way of how you position that.
I'm putting everything together, right? We have Tyler Cox that's coming out and saying that he has no indication whatsoever they've cooperated. The family has not come out and said that there's any findings. And then also the attorney that represents the family is saying that we haven't sent or gave the phone over, but we're willing to. And that was as of the 11th.
Brandon, you may very well be a lot smarter than me, but I can't hear.
He's not.
The statement was, we're prepared to cooperate, I guess from Crump. That does
I'm not
not
sure if
mean
it was-
we have not handed over the phone, but we will.
Well, Nancy, when you put it all, you have to put the totality of circumstance together. I'm not there to be in the room with the investigators to determine, but I'm just going off of what knowledge we have and that's been given to us that's available. And what Tyler Cox is saying, and I'm taking him at his word, he's saying that there's no indication that they've cooperated. The lawyers that represent the family is saying we're prepared, but they did not say that they cooperated whatsoever. So I'm looking at the statements that are produced, and all of the statements indicate that there has not been a cooperation with the phone being extracted from haters. Therefore, there is no true determination that things were missing from the phone.
For all I know, that means we'll come in for questioning. We'll let you search his belongings. Anything that does not equal, we have not handed over the phone. But hey, you know what?
She's 100% right, but he's doing their best to paint them as problematic. Based on what this situation has been, I wouldn't be mad at them for holding onto the phone for dear life until they're sure it'll be handled correctly.
Now, to my question. Don't you understand why people are suspicious? Because no one's separated from his phone, which no teen does.
That was my point earlier. No teen is leaving their phone anywhere, whether it has service or not. It doesn't happen, especially not if they're prepared to go to an island, which I'm sure their phones were waterproofed and all the extra stuff. No.
This is a factual. Have you ever tried to get a phone away from a 16-year-old or a person that's like under the age of 22? Bro, they will have a whole panic attack. I'm talking about a whole mental conniption.
Teen is leaving their phone behind while every other teen has their phone. It's not happening.
I get it. Why he didn't have it in the water. I get that. I dive, I swim. I just went swimming with the dolphins with my twins. And yes, my phone was on the boat. But then I got it. I didn't let the boat take off without it. So at least you can admit that's why people are curious. I'm curious.
Nancy, I think it's because people are out putting out misinformation and they don't have the totality of circumstances because they haven't heard from the boys, didn't watch the interview and all of this stuff, and they feel that it's convoluted.
Why are you calling them the boys? Do you not, y'all ever see that, like, where dude, they always try to, what is that called? They always try to minimize the kid, like white people. I've seen them call 35-year-old men that do some heinous boys. I've seen them call 67-year-old white men that do heinous things boys. They will literally try to categorize them as boys. Let it be a 10-year-old black kid. They'll say he was operating like an adult. Let it be an 18-year-old black kid. They'll say that he's a grown man. Matter of fact, Brandon Tatum has said that he's a grown man. He left his phone on a boat and he decided to do that as a grown man. But you keep positioning that these are boys. And you know what the messaging is behind that. To make them seem like, oh, well, we don't know this. This dude is worse than a house. No, he would be a house Negro. He would be the person that'd be working in the house all day. He'd be that person that'd be trying to hit you with the whip. He is that person.
It's very straightforward to me and very clear in many areas that the boys are saying they did not have access. Christine, Nolan's mother, is not saying.
He literally just dodged her whole point of her saying it doesn't make sense that every other teen had their phone except for him, that he was supposedly on the island with the girl talking to other people, and the boat took off without him ever retrieving his phone, if that's the story that they're going with. None of that makes sense. It doesn't line up, especially for what we know teens are today.
Unequivocally that things were deleted. She was surprised that things were not present. Therefore, she insinuated that things may have been deleted. But she did not really say that the phone was deleted. And the fact that they did not communicate with both sides, meaning that I wish that the Nolan Wells family would have communicated with these boys instead of me.
He keeps pinning.
I'm glad you was about to say it, but dog, nah, really? This dude is, I'm saying, like, evil? Evil may not even be the good. This is demonic. This is devilish. Dog, I'm gonna be honest with you. This is devilish. This is demonic.
And the onus on the grieving family to reach out to somebody who they suspect of foul play of their son. Who would do that? It's not the family's fault that they didn't reach out to some teens who weren't upfront about what happened with their son, who we all think was murdered. We all think Nolan Wells was killed or hurt on that boat or that island and left for dead and found face down in water. The family does not owe them communication, or anybody else for that matter, other than the lawyer, especially for city and authorities. It seemed like they were trying to cover it up.
Would have talked to their lawyers instead of me, then therefore they could have gotten a good perspective. The boys made mention in the interview that I did with them that they told Christine, Nolan's mother, that they had his phone and his keys in their possession. Therefore, she came to get them. They turned them over. They have no access to his codes. They have no reason to delete his phone. They're claiming there's nothing that was deleted. They gave a fair explanation as to why he left the phone on the boat. Nolan wasn't the only individual to leave a phone on the boat. He wasn't the only black person to leave a phone on the boat. So that, to me, dispels the racial component.
All of this, anything he's saying is from that side. Therefore, we have no reason to believe anything that he's saying.
He was with them. Multiple boats came out. Traditionally, if you don't leave on the boat you came on, you can leave on another boat. They're all going to the same location. So it's not that bizarre that he left his phone. The phone was returned to Nolan. These are best friends of Nolan. They hang out almost every day.
Hold on, but Tatum, the boat. Has the boat been searched by cadaver dogs and scent dogs?
The boat, from my understanding, has not been searched. And the cadaver dogs were made available for Benjamin Crump to utilize them to do a search on the boat. They refused.
Why does Benjamin Crump, the lawyer, have to do a search on the boat? Why wouldn't that be the authorities? Why wouldn't that be the first thing they did once they realized a kid was missing and there was possible foul play? This is what I'm saying about the Nolan Wells side not trusting authorities or anything happening in this case, because there's so many things that were missed, so many steps that haven't happened, and this goofball keeps trying to blame Nolan Wells' family when it's really them against the system and everybody else.
It's not supposed to use the dogs.
Right.
There is no reason to search
the...
Do you see why Nancy started laughing at him? She like, dog, are you this stupid, or are you just like, when somebody says you may be way smart, like you may be smarter than me, they telling you that you're not smarter. When she said that earlier, she was trying to tell him, like, bro, you're not smarter than me. You might think that you're smarter than me, but you're not smart. But on top of that, thank you, Nancy, for pointing that out. You keep trying to redirect it to Nolan and them family. What is wrong with this dude?
Supposed to use the dogs?
Right.
There is no reason to search
everything on Crump.
Listen, Nancy, there's no reason if there's not.
Why are you blaming everything on Crump or Nolan Wells' family? It doesn't make sense. Why aren't the authorities doing these things? Why haven't they done their job? Why is Brandon Tatum the spokesperson for these white teens?
If there's not any evidence of a murder, there's no reason for them to use the cadaver dog. That's how this works.
How do you get evidence for a murder if you don't do something like use the cadaver dogs? It is a person that died mysteriously under mysterious circumstances who seemed like they have blunt force trauma in the back of their head, and everything has been handled super wonky.
None of these individuals they do not have any expectation that there was any murder that occurred. It's just other people are putting that out to the world. The police department is not investigating the murder. These boys are not suspects.
The police department not investigating the murder is how we got here in the first place, and why the black community is so up in arms about all of this.
I agree they're not suspects, they're not persons of interest, they're not suspects, they haven't been charged, but
to believe after interviewing 60 people that he was ever on the boat.
The search of the Triton,
he's not
his boat.
Ordering it. He's not ordering it. The cadaver dogs were made available if he wanted to. No, they made themselves, availed themselves to him and said, would you like us to search the...
That's not how that works, you idiot. Like oh my God. This is crazy. This dude is evil. I'm sorry, that's the only word I can, besides demonic, evil. That's the only way I can describe this. How you are a former police officer, you know as well as I do that you cannot, you can't order the cadaver dogs. The police have to order that. This dude.
You just said that about Nolan Wells' mom.
Exactly. He said when Crump said we're available and ready, we're willing to communicate with authorities and cooperate, we'll hand over the phone. He literally just spent the whole first half of this conversation chastising and demonizing that side for not working with police. Now he's saying the exact same thing and saying it's Crump who's not cooperating. She literally caught him in his double standard usage right there.
Tatum, you just said when Crump says we're available and ready, you went, well, that's no, they haven't handed over the boat. But now you're saying the friends say our boat's available and ready. And I'm not going to tear you a new one because the law enforcement is the one that needs to go and search the boat.
Right. That's why I love when you have people that like Nancy Grace. Nancy got that one good ear. That one good ear. And that one good ear hears every single word that you say. Analyzes it, receives it, and then uses it against you. That's law. They do this all the time. Ask any lawyers worth they salt. They got that one good ear. And she cooked you. I'm talking about good tenderness.
Nancy,
it ain't rocket science.
The people who had questions about this, because it's definitely not law enforcement, it was Benjamin Crump.
He's acting like he hasn't got you because law enforcement isn't doing their jobs in the death of a black person. When have they ever? It is the community, it is the public that is outraged that wants this looked into because they were trying to close this and cover it up as soon as possible. Yep. It is the public that is outraged. It is the public that is demanding answers. It is the mother that will not give up this fight. He is so raccooned out, it's crazy. He will twist and turn fact, fiction, rumor, whatever it is to suit his narrative that the white teens, their families, and authorities are all in the right. And no matter what, it's Nolan Wells' side that's being problematic, that aren't trying to move things forward and that are causing all these issues. I'm glad Nancy is calling him out.
They wanted to get to the bottom. They don't trust law enforcement.
There's not a grand jury?
So I'm saying initially before grand jury.
Because if it's going to grand jury, then there are questions.
Initially before grand jury, when this first started, and Benjamin Crump brought up all these questions, and they availed themselves to him and said, would you like for us to search the boat? We'll grant the cadaver dogs for you to go and look at the boat. And he refused. And this is why I'm saying it does not appear.
Give authority to search the boat.
Anything that Tatum is saying, you have to see through the guise of him running cover for these teens, the authorities, and the family. He's not being honest. None of his intentions are good. He does not care about Nolan Wells or the family. And we just can't take anything he says at face value.
Wait a minute.
They are not pursuing like they claim they are.
Say, here's our boat, come search it. Did the families offer the boat up for search?
They offered boat, phones, whatever investigators needed, whatever the family needed, they made it available. The family did not pursue any avenue.
What proof do we have that any of that happened, that they said any of that? None of it. We just hear Officer Tatum saying it.
I respect you, but I'm going to have to cut your mic because we have to be clear about something. Philip Dubé joining me. He is a veteran trial lawyer, a defense lawyer. A citizen cannot force a search on somebody else's boat. So Crump or Mrs. or Nolan's mother, they cannot force a cadaver dog or a scent dog search on the Triton. Law enforcement needs to bring out a cadaver dog and a scent dog. It's just real simple. It's not hard. Do you agree? They are the ones with authority to do that.
Of course. One thing they can do, though, is go to the DA's office and ask that it be included as part of the grand jury investigation.
And who says they haven't done that?
Because believe me, Nancy, the grand jury starts investigating and wants all of these materials, including access to the boat, access to the cell phone, it's going to happen. Otherwise, they will suffer the pains of contempt of the grand jury.
It's law enforcement needs to go do it. Law enforcement, if they want the phone,
they can get it.
Get a warrant for the phone.
With grand jury involvement and the push for federal review, I think a lot of the narratives that Brandon Tatum is pushing now is going to come back and bite him in the ass, and I hope they do. But
shout out to Jew Man, and I concur with that opinion. I really do. I hope that all of this comes to bite him in the butt, because you cannot have it. You can't have it one way. And honestly, it's always been dudes like him. It's always been Sambos, the COONs, it's always been these type of individuals. But yeah, they always come out and make themselves available every once in a blue moon, or they try to make sure that they position themselves so that way they can continue to make money, because that's all their goal is. Let me make money disparaging everybody else, because if I disparage my community, I know I'm gonna get a big paycheck. Do you know how big my paycheck would be, or how much views I would get if I was just disparaging black people? And I would be sitting up here with hundreds of thousands of views every single time. Every single time. But I'm not doing that, because that would, one, be selling my soul. Two, I'm not built like that. And three, I don't believe it. So I'm not going to say nothing I don't believe. But hey, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comment section. I need you to hype, like, share, and subscribe, because y'all already know they are attacking the channel currently. But I believe in the family, and I know that the family will make sure that they got our back. So hey, I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all on the next video. Peace and love.
Just read the book. You know I didn't write that book.
So he's essentially too saying, there was some embellishment in order to, live up to, the compensation for getting the book. So then will this be a challenge for the defense, or do you see this even a challenge for the prosecution to try to assert that, no, he's culpable?
I think it's a challenge for both sides, but the prosecution obviously has the burden of proof in any criminal case beyond a reasonable doubt, and that's going to be, they're going to have a challenge here, right? So a case is, usually it could be a he said, she said. This is literally just a he said, and the prosecution's going to say, he said it, believe him.
Just read the book. You know I didn't write that book.
So he's essentially too saying, there was some embellishment.
Just read the book. You know I didn't write that book.
So he's essentially too saying, there was some embellishment in order to, live up to.
Carmelo Anthony. What's up, family? Boots on the ground, Carmelo Anthony, new trial hearing, Collin County Courthouse. So I just came out of the courtroom, and fam, there's some serious business going on in there. The prosecution, in my opinion, is getting their head beat in. But they're very arrogant. You know, that's the thing that stood out more than anything. It was the arrogance, you know. But Carmelo got some heavy representation. You know, he got a dream team of lawyers led by none other than Russell Wilson. Super dupe dude. It's really hot out here, fam. There's a lot of people inside of the courtroom. These are a few people that are outside. They didn't want to be subjected to the searches and all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about? But I want to talk about what the prosecutor said inside of that courtroom. The prosecutor tried to talk about Carmelo's
That keep from one child. It's live. He just got in the courtroom.
text messages where he said that Carmelo was on the verge. On the verge of what? Obviously, he was going to take it and run with the concept of Carmelo being on the verge of wanting to harm somebody, right? But when you say on the verge, I mean, you could be on the verge of, you know, going on a date with somebody that you like. You could be on the verge of you know, quitting a hobby that you like, or even starting a hobby. You know what I mean? You could be on the verge of a lot of things, right? You could be on the verge of, you know, quitting a job. You could be on the verge of listening to your parents, you know? But you leave it up to the prosecutor. He started talking about Carmelo Anthony's text messages, and he tried to make Carmelo Anthony seem like a really horrible person. And he spoke briefly on Austin Metcalf's text messages, and, well, not his text messages, but his racist graffiti, right? But he would not say that Austin Metcalf was a racist. He wouldn't go that far, but he said it without saying it. You can read between the lines when he say that this dude was reprimanded for racist graffiti. Only a racist would write racist graffiti, right or wrong. Right or wrong. What I want to know is, who helped him? Normally when dudes are doing graffiti, somebody is looking out for him. Who was looking out for him? Anybody got any ideas? Yeah. So the idea that he's trying to impress upon the judge is that Carmelo Anthony is this horrible person who deserved 35 years for killing Austin Metcalf, who was really just a really good guy who maybe was accused of doing a couple of bad things. I ain't buying none of that. I said it was self-defense when it first happened, and I'm saying it's self-defense right now. And Carmelo Anthony's attorneys are arguing that there was a lot of mistakes made on the prosecution behalf. In fact, one might even say that what the prosecution did was criminal. At the very least, unethical. At the very least, unethical. Which influenced the jury's decision to find Carmelo Anthony guilty and subsequently give him a 35-year sentence. Now think about that, fam. I want y'all to think about that. even if Carmelo Anthony, even if there was some doubt that Carmelo Anthony was innocent and he was found guilty, right, by a jury of his non-peers, you really give a person 35 years for killing someone in a fight, where they're in a fight where the person who died initiated the confrontation, where the person who died confronted the person who was accused of killing them? You really give somebody 35 years who ain't never been in trouble with the law before? A kid ain't never been in trouble. People like him. People like him way more than they like the other kid. In fact, the other kid, it's documented that he was a troublemaker. He was a bully. He even bullied cheerleaders. Who the hell bullied cheerleaders, man? I never thought in my life one time that to bully a cheerleader. Cheerleaders make the school look good. Cheerleaders are beautiful. Who bullies a cheerleader? It's documented that him and his brother bullied cheerleaders. But moving on, fam, I'm just saying, like, let's just stick to the rudimentary facts. Carmelo Anthony gets confronted by Austin Metcalf. He warns Austin Metcalf to don't touch him. Austin Metcalf ignores the warning and decides to put his hands on him anyway. At some point, Carmelo Anthony stabs him. How he stabbed him, in the manner, is disputable, right? You can dispute it. One could say, okay, he did it like this, it happened like this. The bottom line is, if Austin Metcalf don't approach Carmelo Anthony, it's a very good chance that Austin Metcalf is alive right now today. Born that he would, maybe get in some type of accident or something like that, but more than likely he's alive. He's at college. He's doing things that college kids do. Studying, partying, messing with the girls, all of that good stuff, right? But no, he decided to play bully. And he crapped out. Now, I understand that a youngster lost his life, but you gotta consider how it happened and what part did he play, what role did he play in losing his life. And when you consider that, and then you consider how it went down, and you consider who killed him, and you consider the character of the person who killed him, and you consider the record of the person who killed him. You don't give no youngster 35 years. You don't do that. They did that because they could. If you put the shoe on the other foot, I can guarantee you there would have never been any charges. Put the shoe on the other foot and let several black boys approach a little white boy under a tent and threaten his life, and watch what happened. And they run up on that white boy, and that white boy pull out that thing and stick him. Watch what happened. There wouldn't even be charges. This is the sad part about this two-tier system, this two-tier justice system in America. It harms everybody. It hurts everybody. It don't just hurt black people. It hurt white people too, because for those white people who think that they can get away with pushing people around and bullying people, sometimes they crap out. They don't always get a chance to weaponize their skin color or law enforcement. Sometimes they crap out. And when that happens, now you got two devastated families. You got one kid on trial for his life, for his freedom, and you got another kid that's in a casket. And then you got the community at odds. Especially when you got a black kid and a white kid situation. Anytime you got a black and white situation in America, man, y'all know how that goes. So the DA said it himself that Austin Metcalf got in trouble for racist graffiti. Who other than a racist would write racist graffiti? So if Austin Metcalf has on his mind that he hates black people and he calling black people the N-word, it wouldn't be a stretch to think that he would walk up to this black kid and try to bully him. That's not a stretch. That's evidence. That's evidence of bad character. Now I gotta call a strike and a ball, fam. I know some of y'all don't like what I'm saying. You don't like what I'm saying, but you can't say I'm lying. If you're honest with yourself, you cannot say that I'm lying. The prosecutor is a bad actor. He's a bad actor. You can, man, if you listen to him in that courtroom, fam, he got that bad actor energy, man. And you put him together with John Roach, the judge who just got recused from the Carmelo Anthony case. This is just one case, remember, fam. This is just one case. There are literally thousands of other cases out there where black young males, black people period, don't have a shot in hell of being able to defend themselves against a system that has the deck stacked against them. Carmelo Anthony got the best attorneys in the game on his team, and he's still not guaranteed to get a fast shake. That's how much they got the deck stacked, because it's systemic, it's structural. The prosecutor admitted. Now, we had heard prior to the sentencing, or Carmelo Anthony's conviction, that this dude, Austin, was a racist and he had been reprimanded for racist graffiti. We already heard that, but we didn't hear from the prosecutor. The prosecutor had to speak about it today in the courtroom because he knew that Carmelo Anthony's attorneys was going to bring it up. So he tried to get ahead of the story. He tried to get in front of the story by mentioning it himself before they did it. That's all that was. It ain't like he was being honest. Because if he was being honest, he would have mentioned it straight out the gate. But he only mentioned it to save his butt. He only mentioned it because he knew that they were going to mention it. That's where we are, y'all. I'm gonna be bringing some more footage to y'all. In fact, I'm gonna be talking to Nolan's parents in a few ticks. Hopefully we get a decision to get a new trial today. Hopefully we get that decision today. But I'm gonna tell you something, fam. There's a lot of witnesses who have been walking into that courtroom, and I actually thought it was going to be over a lot sooner. I didn't know this was going to be like really an all-day thing, but there have been multiple breaks and a lot of testimony. The defense is prepared. The defense is ready. I think that the prosecutor is resting on his laurels, but the defense is definitely swinging for the fence. So I'll keep y'all updated, fam. Till next time, enjoy the rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. No more talk.
That's a fact. I don't know if y'all can hear me or not, but tune in now.